I'm in a very meditative mindset right here, folks. I'm going to go live with Krissy Bergmark. Hey, Mama. How you doing? Hope you're taking it easy out there in Pennsylvania. Well, it's like 32 degrees and it feels like 19. It's terrible. But I'm bundled up here. I've got heat in the studio. I've got other things happening. And it's good to be alive. What can I say? We got the blue lights on tonight. Uncharacteristically, I've been sort of chilling out for the last half hour because I've been watching some of Krissy's videos over the last few days, getting myself ready for this thing. And hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Krissy, I've been looking forward to this all day. I'm very relaxed.
That's great. Me too.
Which I'm not always relaxed. I'm sometimes I'm like on the edge, or
Yeah.
you know, I mean, it was helpful yesterday to meet and to and I've been watching some of your videos, over the last few days. I was watching one today where you were doing voice and tablas, and I was like, this is going to be nice. Let me get myself into the mindset. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. This is Thursday Night Life Music. I'm on top in the blue, and we have on the show tonight Krissy Bergmark. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. Very excited for this.
Me too. Let's start, Krissy, just from a very basic standpoint, and let's pretend I'm a complete idiot, which isn't that tough to do, and talk to me briefly about what you're going to be using to make music and sound tonight.
Sure. Yeah. So I haven't done a set quite this long by myself before without a loop pedal. So I'm kind of plunging in tonight, taking a dive into the deep end. Because as you saw from my post earlier this, I have been working on like adding vocals to what I do and working on singing and playing at the same time, which I'm still kind of new at. But I was thinking about some different ideas and things that I like to interact with. And so I've got a couple of shakers.
Nice.
Yeah, a couple nice sounding shakers. This one's fun because it can be open, close it. And then I've got my tabla, which actually I didn't realize I might have to back you up a little bit because you can't see my face and my tabla all at once. I've got my tabla. So here I've got a D drum. It's tuned to the pitch of D. If I'm first or the fifth of the key that we're playing in, then it sounds like I'm playing the right note. But I've got a bunch of different drums for that purpose. So I've got this A drum, this B drum, this C drum, and then this D drum.
All right. ABC.
So I've got a whole pile of them to play with. Sometimes I put one on my lap and I'll play two high at the same time. So that's what I'm working with tonight.
That's exciting. I was watching your hand movements and fingerings, or whatever you want to call it, on your videos, and there's just a lot going on in terms of like, okay, I'd have to actually pause that to find out. But it sounds like the middle section of the tabla, is it first off, tabla is what you would call the whole set, right? Or everything, or is it?
Tabla is the set, but it's also just this drum.
Okay, okay. So there's no like tablas.
Some people say tablas too.
Yeah.
It's fairly open. I say tabla
Okay.
to refer to both of them.
And so the tone that you're getting, the actual like the note, that's in the middle, correct?
Tricky
Mm,
question. The very first sound you learn as a tabla player is na or ta. And that is actually like you can compare it to like playing a rim shot if you play drums. It's like you're hitting all of the high frequencies of the drums. And the way that I do that is my ring finger is kind of resting right here between the white and the black of the head. Because if I just hit it, I get a different sound. And it's more of like an open bell-like sound, and it kind of sticks out a little bit. And that's actually like a slightly flat second above the octave, I believe, above this note. So I've got a G, and then I've got an E-ish.
okay.
So
That's very cool. That's very cool. And then the surrounding area out there. I mean, is it all? Is it? What am I trying to get? Anyway, maybe I want to stop talking and just just let you do. Let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about. And I know this is important to you and to me. It's practice, and it's. I'm going to add in there sort of like mindfulness and self-awareness and consciousness, or something like that. What you're doing.
yeah.
How important is that before you even touch the instrument for you? Or when
Sure.
you
Yeah, practice is something that I have thought a lot about, obviously, in my life as a musician. And it's something that I struggled with a lot. Before I started playing tabla, I was a percussionist, and I still am a percussionist. It's just I primarily perform on tabla. And I remember, like going through school and when I was growing up, and then when I got to college and just trying to balance all of the things that I was playing and having a really hard time feeling good about practice. I think because it was surrounded by like a sense of pressure. And associating like what you do or what you love doing like with your identity. And so once I graduated from school, I was like, okay, I have to figure this out. I can't be a musician who like really like practicing, which I suspect there are a lot of us out there actually.
yes.
I was once watching this live stream of Esperanza Spalding playing with Andrew Bird, and she was like, yeah, I don't like practicing. I practice so that I can play with other people. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. But I mean, I really wanted to enjoy practice. And so I kind of started digging in, and I knew that like, it's hard to come to an artistic practice, whether it's an instrument or, making something or something you enjoy, like working on a skill and facing your inadequacies every day. I think that can get really heavy if you think about it too much and too deeply, which a lot of us do. And so then over the years, I was just like, all right, I'm going to touch my instrument every single day. Whether it's a practice session or a several-hour practice session, like I need to touch this instrument and get in touch with what I do every single day. And that helped so much. In addition to that, I went through a bunch of different resources. I went through this book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Do you know this book?
Yeah, do. The Artist Way, yeah, from
Yeah, yeah.
like
Um,
15, 20 years ago or something like that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like this up in this 12-week course, and I went through the whole thing because I was like, there's like pressure I'm putting myself. There's something in here that's like blocking me from doing what I really want to do and feeling free to just like get on my instrument and play. So I went through that. I went through Effortless Mastery by Kenny Werner. I went through Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. Like just keep, Originals by Adam Grant. That's another one. Just like consuming all of these books about like ideas about artistic practice and creativity. And so it's something I talk a lot about. I just started running some workshops on it because I think it's so important. And I think there's a lot of folks out there who struggle with artistic practice on whatever level, whether you're a professional or you're just doing it because you want to do it. I think it can be a really hard thing. And I think that, there's a lot of ways to get your own way in terms of practice.
Yes, no, that's very true. And that's sometimes when the magic happens, right? When you get out of your own way,
Yeah, and it should be joy-centered, like getting in touch with like why we started doing this to begin with. I think that is so vital to like just enjoying your time doing what you do.
Yeah, yeah. And for me, in a lot of ways, I consider it the process for me and the practice is a time traveling element, meaning like I'm getting out of the way because this thing exists. That like this painting tonight at 9:02 tonight is going to be something, right?
Yeah.
And whether it's wonderful, whether it's less than wonderful, it doesn't really matter because it's going to happen.
Right.
What is my job? Is to be here and be present, and to listen, to respond, and to have the confidence to know that, well, I brought my tools, and I've done this before. I've never done it with you, and there's always the chance that I'm going to fall flat on my face, but at least I'll do it with you.
Yeah.
But it takes a little of the pressure off in terms of like, oh, what am I doing? So, being in the present and taking those steps, but also relaxed, knowing that like, dude, just get out of the way of this, if
That's
that makes
such a beautiful idea. I love the idea of time traveling. Like what you are going to play is going to be there. It's going to exist by the time you're done. So you just have to like be the conduit. I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. In some ways it really does exist already, We as human beings, we look at things in a very linear way. And we look at things in time. But I always like to well, if you just change the angle of how you're looking at it, it's it's not only a flat line, but then you turn that line this way, and guess what? It's a point. That sort of like I said. So if you can look at the universe like that, which is that's not easy to do, but it's also very simple, right? It's kind of like, all right, if it's all one moment, it's kind of takes the pressure. I don't know. That's sort of like allows me to have more fun. But again, we're also talking about practice, and I also love the hard work that it is.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Putting the effort into it, and feeling like afterwards, like, whew, like that sort of feeling. That's good.
Kind of tired. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Even if it's just mental energy, it can be very exhausting. Oftentimes after a nice long like 2-set of a show, at the end, I'll go to the musician sometimes or the musicians and start talking, or if somebody wants to talk to me afterwards, and I'm kind of like out of words. I don't know. I'm just kind of like, I think I need an apple and a sandwich, and maybe I'll get back to you. That sort of vibe of like, I'm exhausted. But that's good, right?
Gosh. Yeah. I after the first practice workshop I gave, which was a couple weeks ago now, I spent all morning just like thinking about it and getting geared up, and it was the first one I was doing, and then spent this 2-hour session like giving this workshop, and talking with people and like hearing about their experiences, and it was really intense, and I was exhausted even just talking about it. But yeah, I absolutely relate to the show thing too. It's like when you sets, and you're just like really, really present and really like mentally in it, it takes a lot out of you, but it feels good.
Yeah, it does. It feels for me. It feels very purposeful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in the end, there, it's like my painting is still glistening, or it's still wet, and the vibrations are still in the air. I like to think that the sound, even if I can't hear it, it sort of has vibrated, and it's still sort of doing like a going to the satellites kind of thing.
Yeah.
We're sort of basking in the glory of it all. Krissy, so you and I are here to talk for the whole hour. What do you think about that, folks?
We could do it.
We could do it. Yeah, we could. And maybe we'll do that. Who knows? But another time. For right now, folks, what we're going to do, since this is Thursday Night Life Music, we're going to be creatives for you. We're going to give you a little bit of a show. And what that's going to entail is Krissy's going to play, and I'm going to listen, and I'm going to create on this, and then we'll connect afterwards, maybe talk about it a little bit. But mostly, I just want to watch you play. I want to listen to you to do your thing. You ready to sort of share?
Yeah, before we get started, I want to back the camera up a little bit so that you can see a little bit more of me and my drums and what's going on.
Someone's saying, can you play Teen Tal?
I can play a little Teen Tal, yeah.
I don't know what it means.
So, Teen Tal is a time cycle.
It's a good word.
Yeah, that's looking better. Do a little more of that. Let's see if you can see all of me. Oh, much better.
Yes. That's
Teen Tal is a 16-beat time cycle in Indian music.
okay.
So yeah, I can play some Teen Tal.
Okay. Take over.
Okay.
Yes.
Yay! Whew.
How'd that feel?
That felt good. I'm sweating a little.
That's good. We got a workout.
Yeah, it was. It was
Krissy,
awesome.
I felt like I was in the cave with you
Yeah.
in a good, in a really good way. And it's like, if you gave us some more time and there was other people in the cave with us, that the people in the cave would just be like waiting for something's going to happen. We just have to wait.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, does that make any sense? Like, like we're calling something else, or I don't know what I'm.
Yeah.
It's that sort of vibe of like, okay, this is like we're talking a language, kind of like we're asking something to come into the cave with us or something like that.
Yeah,
And
like
just
conjuring some things.
yeah, that was sort of like the vibe I was getting, but it was very comfortable, kind of like, oh yeah, when this entity or whatever answers the call, it'll be fine because Krissy and I are here and we're speaking the language, so everything's going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
What I'm talking about, but these are this is the storytelling that my mind does
Yeah.
oftentimes.
Yeah.
Um, and usually I don't get to share this because it's just okay. Thank you very much. Load out, but
No,
I'm good.
I think it's really valuable to say like this is what it's like, this is what it's like right now.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Because that was, it was soft and subtle, but also there was like a heartbeat and a thump that was
Yeah.
happening. Um, which is like going, okay, is Krissy amplifying her own heartbeat, or is she working with somebody else's heartbeat, or then my mind sort of goes science fiction wise. It's sort of like maybe there's more than one Krissy in the room, that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it makes me want to see you live, Krissy. When will we be able to see you in a live performance next?
I'm playing this coming Tuesday, but I'm playing in Minneapolis.
Okay.
I've only been living in Chicago for 3 months or so. So on Tuesday, for all the Minneapolis folks out there, I'll be at Ice House at
Yeah,
8 p.m.
I saw a few of your performances that's on your website
Yeah,
that are from Ice House, and it looks like a nice spot.
it's a great spot. I actually just played there Monday as well.
Right.
I've been a little bit back and forth, but no, it's a great spot. It's a great community up there, great people, and I'm excited to be back there. So
I think I saw you collaborating too with like bluegrass players. Right?
yeah. So kind of my two main situations are I have a trio that I play with. It's like an instrumental, folkish, bluegrass kind of trio called Sprig of That. We've been very busy. We're in the middle of working on an album right now. We're recording in Nashville in December, so really pumped about that. And that's who I'll be with on Tuesday, so you can see us and the OK Factor, which is this really great string duo. And then I love to play outside of that group. I love to play improvised music. And wow, what an experience it was improvising with myself sonically.
Yes. Does it feel like that? Like you're playing off your own vibrations in some ways?
Yeah, it was really nice. I love collaborating with visual artists such as yourself. I've done it a couple other times, and it's really nice because it's like sometimes getting really visual, and especially at the beginning when you were kind of doing this like figure eight back and forth like swoops, I was really kind of like physically like getting into that and kind of feeling that and improvising with that a little bit and just like matching. I kind of like went into and was like, what can I do here? What can I do there? And kind of started feeling a little bit more like a mad scientist in my cave. So it was nice to have like the back and forth too. And like every once in a while I'd look up and I'd be like, oh my gosh, that's great. And then I'd see something and it's inspiring. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it felt like I was kind of like writing on the cave walls. Like I was just like scripting out whatever you were saying. But it was coming from someone else, kind of like that sort of vibe of like, don't worry about if it looks like letters or numbers. It's not what it's about. Just make the marks. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
out of the way. You know what I mean? Like, that's, and I enjoyed I wouldn't say the pauses, but the sort of, the tempo changes too.
Yeah.
That's, for me, as much as sometimes as I'm a percussive painter, I'm a dancer too, right? So I'm, like you said, I'm doing this stuff.
Yeah.
As I'm moving around the canvas, which something about the tableau just makes me want to do that for some reason. I guess traditionally too, that's like kind of what would be going on, right? I mean, it's when you think about it.
Oh yeah, the whole style of tableau playing built around collaborating with Kazakhstan dancers. So
right.
definitely and I love collaborating with dancers too.
I do too. Yeah. There's something very much like the sculptural space that dancers occupy.
Yeah.
Because I'm very much into the positive and the negative space, whatever that means. But sort of flipping that around, so it's a space that's not occupied by a person. And all of a sudden, there's a person in there, and all of a sudden, there isn't. But there's, it's like and the shadowing, the sort of like, or the, they were just there, so they've left a space of a shape of a dancer there,
Right.
And,
absolutely.
And the same thing with music too. It's sort of like if they're, I'm always imagining the music being a physical thing. So
yeah,
in my imagination process, there's all this music, which is physical colors and forms and ribbons and stuff. The dancers are moving through that. So that like, oh, isn't that cool that they're pushing through these waves, kind of like they're in water and stuff like that. That's just all the storytelling stuff up here, but.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's an awesome visualization of like what is happening. Because I mean the sound is physical. It's like literal sound waves, And it's something that I think we don't think a lot about seeing. But that's really cool to think about. I love that.
Yeah, and trying to, how can I visually get into the same frequency or the same resonance that you are, like in a response kind of way, like you're talking to me and I'm saying something back, and the same style or the same language that you can understand, and all of a sudden we're having an abstract conversation, and then you and I start giggling and stuff like that, and then people are going, well, why are they giggling? That's sort of like, because conversation, fun. So this was a lot of fun. Krissy, thank you so much. This is always like, even when it comes to the hour, I kind of want to, if we were live, if we were in the same space and we look at the audience, you guys kind of like, y'all want some more, we could do that. But for the sake of the sponsors, which are absolutely nobody, and we'll take the commercial break so that we can go on with our lives. But Krissy, this was fantastic.
This was so fun. Thank you so much for having me. We got to do it in person sometime.
Yes, let's do that. Since we're sort of localish, and we'll end up being in the same spaces, we'll do that. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Thursday Life Music. This has been a really great one, a really fun one. I don't know about this thing. It's been fun to make. But most of all, it's been fantastic to collaborate with you for the hour.
Thanks so much. So great collaborating with you. And beautiful painting. I love it. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll post this again and stuff like that, and we'll give this some legs. Folks, feel free to share this, and please go see Krissy Bergmark live. And we will see you next week. We'll be off, but after that, we got Leonard Simpson on saxophone. It's going to be here for early December. And then Liza Michelli is going to be with me on the 9th, and we're going to be live at the Allegra Hotel. But Krissy, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.
You too. Bye-bye.